Finally, a Marvel movie to be hyped about. No, not Deadpool, you chud. Madam Web. The movie you forgot you wanted to see, remember? Sony moved its offices to America. And oh man, does it show with the recent PlayStation game releases.
Maybe you should call yourself the Great Electric Spider.
And pretty trash Spider-Man adjacent superhero and villain films. It's Morbin time.
Remember that time when Sony was gaslit by trolls on Twitter to re-release Morbius to the movie theaters?
Turns out bringing Morbius back to theaters just because of a meme wasn't that successful.
Don't matter. None of this matters.
When you're hurt, you deserve the best at your side. Your injuries could be worth millions. Insurance companies often lowball clients. God knows it's happened to me. Morgan & Morgan will fight to get you the money you deserve. They have won an incredible amount of verdicts. Insurance companies know it. Now you do too. The firm does not settle for lowball offers. Just in the past couple of months, Morgan & Morgan saw more verdicts of $12 million in Florida, 34 times the highest insurance offer. The firm is not afraid to go to court and fight for the biggest award possible to compensate you. It only takes a few minutes to see if you have a case. The fee is absolutely free unless you win. Did you know you could start a claim for America's largest injury firm in just a click? It's so easy. You can start a claim now with Morgan & Morgan at www.forthepeople.com/itsagundam. Well, it looks like Sony has another Morbius on their hands with Madam Web.
This film and this story is different because it's really grounded in reality.
This is an emergency. Get off the train.
It's more of a suspenseful thriller, which is unique from anything you've seen in a superhero movie.
Hey, I doubt it.
It stars Dakota Johnson, best known for 50 Shades of Grey in 2015. Then she released like 3 or 4 more 50 Shades of Grey you never heard of. And a ton of other trash films you've never heard of. She's also best known for being a nepotism baby. Yes, that's right. We have another celebrity that's actually the child of celebrity parents who have been in Hollywood longer than I've been alive. Johnson is the daughter of the actor Don Johnson and Melanie Griffith. Anytime someone brings up the phrase
Nepo baby.
Nepo baby? Yeah.
she gets a little pissy. Madam Web's press tour also took her to NBC's Today Show, where she expressed her early frustration with the Nepo baby discourse.
And I was reading how Don Johnson was like, look, you're going to college. I don't care what you're thinking. What was that? That must have been a kind of a difficult decision to make, or was it easy?
I mean, he cut me off.
Well, there's that.
So I needed to ask my mom to help me. She was the nice one.
It was difficult.
Wow. The poor children.
She brings it up in interviews all the time. She also had a SNL monologue where she brought up being the child of a celebrity back when he was hot in the scene. It's a lot of copium if you care.
When that first started, I found it to be like incredibly annoying and boring.
If you watch anything with this girl, she seems to be bored with every fucking thing.
If you're a journalist, write about something else.
Yeah.
That's just like lame.
Yeah.
So far, it seems like Dakota herself is already over the film, judging by the interview she's done. She has Brie Larson energy ×2.
Like the opportunity to have a new experience in the world of superheroes that feels slightly more accessible and grounded and,
Oh my god, this woman sleepwalks through interviews. Madam Web in the comics was an old woman. She was first introduced in Spider-Man 210 in the 80s. She was born blind and had clairvoyant powers. She also had this weird disease that I forgot the name of, but it locked her to a chair, so basically she was like Crip Daddy almost. And she couldn't leave from it. Her husband designed the chair, kept her alive, also the both, the usual, right? How Marvel came up with this wacky storyline for Madam Web actually amazes me. I'm going to let Dakota explain this dumpster fire of a film to you. I can't be bothered to try and make sense of it.
I read this script and I was really drawn to the idea of a young woman's superpower being her mind.
Mm-hmm. Would you ever want to see into the future?
I wouldn't.
Never.
No, I'm good.
Basically, this movie is a fan fiction, girl power, superhero film, girl boss movie deliciousness. And it's already dead on arrival. The film doesn't follow how the character was introduced by Marvel in the first place through Spider-Man, which would make it infinitely more interesting, then try to spin something off. I don't know what the people at Sony are thinking, but they never really are if we think about it. What's sad is Sony has the rights to Spider-Man, but they have no clue how to utilize him or his cast of characters. They are so desperate to have their own cinematic universe that they ended up doing more harm to the franchise and the IP than good. And frankly, Madam Web seems like a film that was written by people with the same mindset as Sweet Baby.
I was not very steeped in the comics.
I didn't read any comics or do any research.
I wasn't familiar with the comics. I wasn't familiar with the movies.
We didn't lean into a whole lot of the history of the comic books.
Yeah, candidly, we were not enormous comic fans.
I wasn't super into superhero comics when I was a kid. I read a lot of like indie press stuff.
First thing I was told is don't read the comics.
Really?
And the saddest part is Dakota was gaslighting herself into thinking that Madam Web is a superhero. It's also a superhero film, and it's from Marvel Studios. When it's not, it's from Sony Studios. But what are you going to do? Manifest it, girl. If you believe it, it will come. Well, anyway, Madam Web comes out on Valentine's Day, and my spider senses are tingling. They tell me that this is going to be another flop for Dakota. Go back to begging studios to pick up your indie films with Sean Penn, lady. Nobody's interested.
You might be aware there was a line from the trailer that went sort of viral. Do you remember that?
What was it?
It was the line that says, "He was in the Amazon with my mum when she was researching spiders right before she died." Do you remember that going viral?
Why did that go viral?
I think it went viral because, out of context, people were just like, "What does this mean?" Did you catch that at all?
No.
And it's clearly, if you check all of Dakota's interviews for this movie, she's not feeling it herself.
He was in the Amazon researching spiders with my mom before she died.
Yeah.
That seems like a basic storyline to me.
Fair enough.
But maybe I'm just underneath it.
No, that's fair.
And when your star is already melancholy and downtrodden over a film that's not even out yet, you know it's trouble. Have you learned nothing from Brie Larson and the Marvels? And the answer is no.